We're recording.
Oh, you are doing it live?
No, it's not.
Okay. You never know. On live, I might say something.
So good day again to our audience. My name is John, and my colleague Lou, and you're with us once again, of course, at the last portion of our Exercise Your Rights Southern Alberta event. So of course we have our very special guest as of today, and His Excellency Mr. Honorable Mayor Ted Clugston.
Ted is fine.
Thank
you.
Thank you for having us,
Yes, my
sir.
pleasure. Thank you for driving me. Thank you for coming all the way here on this snowy day.
Oh yes, as long as it's for the mayor, and of course to invite our audience to actually get out there and vote. So as we usually do on our show, may we ask the good mayor an introduction to our audience, please?
So about myself, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm Ted Clugston. I've been the mayor of Medicine Hat for just about 4 years. As you're aware, we're going to the polls on October 16th. I served on our city council for 6 years as a councillor before that. I'm a father of 2 boys, and my wife Nita is from Denmark. Thank you. And before I got into politics, reluctantly got into politics, I was a financial planner, independent financial planner, and had a practice or a business, and still do have my license to this day.
Oh, that's
Good in economics.
Yes.
And
My background is my university background is in science and economics.
That's really good, especially for a mayor to make sure that the city is running good economically too.
Most people who get in politics are usually have more of an arts or a legal
Lawyers.
degree. Yes, exactly. It's fairly rare for someone with a science.
Yes, that's right.
that's a very good one. So as a background, like the city of Medicine Hat is in good hands. I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
we'll see what the citizens think here in 13 days. They get a chance.
And
So first of all, we would like to give our deep condolences for what happened to Las Vegas and Edmonton, and we want to give our support by letting everybody know that we do our best to make the community safer, not just in Medicine Hat and that, but all throughout Canada and Alberta. So regarding that event, what does the citizens of Medicine Hat, can contribute to help our Medicine Hat's the finest, the police officers, the EMS, and the firefighters that are doing a great job?
And that is very important that you bring that up, because as a city council, sometimes we're talking about recreation facilities we're going to build, but really our number one priority is safety and security of our citizens first. And when people get a speeding ticket or a traffic ticket, there's that frustration with our frontline people, with our fire and our police, and then our paramedics sometimes. And we forget how important they are. And when you have a problem, and when you call 911, and you want them there now, and the number one question, the number one thing you hear on the other end of the phone is, "Please hurry." And so it's very, very important to have the best protective services. And in Medicine Hat, we're very, very proud of all of our frontline people, and our police force, and our firefighters and our paramedics.
Yes.
And it's events like this just remind you how horrific, and also how lucky we are in some ways to be living here in Canada and to be living in Lethbridge, Medicine Hat.
Yes, that's right. We totally agree, and we salute our officers and everybody who puts their life on the line. Like the good mayor has said, that we should do our best to support all of our local officials and police officers especially.
to help a little bit in any way. So we support you 100%.
Even a friendly wave.
Yes, show your appreciation and thanks.
That's right. I mean, at the end of the day, they're humans like us. So they have families, they have emotions. So just some support there and help out. Looking into you, Mr. Mayor. They called you once super mayor. I mean, I believe you are super mayor.
We did some research.
We did some. And you had secrets of resolving homelessness in the city of Medicine Hat.
Yes.
So I have to, step back a little bit. I happened to be the mayor of the city at the time that it solved the homeless problem. So my job as that mayor at that time, in that point in time, is to talk about how Medicine Hat has done it. So and I can't take the credit because it was really, really good people that we have here. It's the Medicine Hat Community Housing Association. It's an arm's length, not-for-profit that have done this. Now the city has been involved, but my job is to carry that torch across the country, even around the world, and talk to other politicians that it can be done. Nobody believed you can get on the moon until somebody did, or nobody believed that humans could fly until we flew, and then now it seems just so simple. And so my job is to say it can be done, and we are that beacon to show that it can. We are very, very lucky. If you want me to go on to this quite a bit, do you want to talk?
Yes, sure.
So the Housing First program was actually started by the provincial government here in Alberta. It's the Housing First and they had a 10-year plan to end homelessness in Alberta. That was about 7 years ago. City Medicine Hat said 10 years is too long, let's try to do it in 5. And so about 2 years ago, we basically declared that within 10 days of us recognizing that you don't have a permanent place to live, we will find you a place. So that doesn't mean that you couldn't drive around Medicine Hat right now. You might find someone who appears to be homeless. Oftentimes they aren't. They may look disheveled, but they did have a place to sleep last night. But you may find someone who has just come to town. That we are on the Trans-Canada Highway, and a lot of people are driving through. A lot of people run out of money inside Medicine Hat on their way to Calgary or Vancouver, who knows. But we will eventually get to them if they want some help. It's just been, it's amazing how much this story has gone. I've done probably over 275 interviews around the world, via Skype, radio, TV, whatever it is. And everybody, I wasn't the champion of this when I was first elected. I frankly was actually didn't speak very highly of our Housing First program, but I was converted. And the reason I was converted, first of all, it makes financial sense. You can house somebody for $20,000 a year perhaps, but to keep them on the street, when we talk about our first responders, could cost up to $100,000 a year when you factor in the judicial visits, the time spent in jail, the hospital visits for hypothermia. One night in the hospital is $1,000 to the taxpayer. And if you accept that there only is one ultimate taxpayer, you can save the taxpayer a lot of money by just putting a roof over somebody's head. The other side of this is, it used to be in Housing First, before Housing First was, get off the drugs and alcohol, or deal with your mental health, and then we'll talk to you about a place. Housing First is exactly the opposite. We'll give you a place to live, and then give you the wraparound services to help you deal with whatever caused you to be homeless. And most likely, it is usually almost always mental health. It's a mental illness, and then it's self-medicating with drugs and alcohol. So we have come a long way, and now we actually have a new program called Thrive, and now we are attempting to end poverty by the year 2030 here, to get all the not-for-profits together working towards one goal. And that would be our food banks, our mental health, our Housing First, and all that working together to solve poverty. And it's a lofty goal, and the people here believe they can do it.
It's a very good concept, and actually when they're doing it now in Lethbridge, in Medicine Hat, that's the great thing about what the great mayor has done, is because it resolves the smaller, and sometimes it's going to be a bigger issue along the road, like drug problem. If you have homelessness being resolved already, there'll be a lot less worries for the other stuff later on.
Yeah, I mean, a drug problem, and we're seeing it all over Alberta, of course, with the meth and even the heroin's going up, and that leads to property crimes, right? Yes. And people are breaking in and stealing your nobody has a VCR anymore, stealing your TV and to buy drugs, and so there's all this ripple effect. So got to get to the root of the problem.
Exactly.
It's a very inspiring project there.
Yeah, and we've been lucky here because Medicine Hat is a wealthy city. We own our own utilities, we own our own gas fields, we own our own oil production.
Gas City, yeah.
Gas City, but now we're moving into helium. Believe it or not. We're drilling for helium because it's the new hot commodity for electronics manufacturing and MRI machines and that kind of thing. And we think we found it around here. So, yeah. So we were able to capitalize on the Housing First program from the province by donating land and building what we call housing stock for the homeless.
Congratulations on that one, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks.
And hopefully we send the message out, then I'm pretty sure it's very good to emulate such programs.
And Lethbridge is very well aware of the Housing First program, and I know that they're working towards that as well. So.
Yeah, that's what we've heard even from some of the interviews that we did. Mr. Zachary Gibb, he even mentioned a lot of programs, recycling and stuff like that they were trying to emulate for Medicine Hat. Now that being said, Mr. Mayor, on your next term, this coming election, after the election, what will be your main focus or additional stress platforms for your next the next term that you'll be into?
So I've been talking about this a lot, obviously, because it is an election time.
Yes.
So in Medicine Hat, we were talking a lot about economic development. We have lagged behind Lethbridge in population growth, and so what we decided. I mean, there's lots of issues on the election, but for me, the bigger issue right now is what we were trying to do in this last term was create the recreational features, the best recreational opportunities in the city our size in the country, and we have, and I'm sorry if ours are better than Lethbridge's. You can tell the mayor that as our servant. And as well, the safety and security. We burned our entire city to protect it from the river, so we won't have any flooding anymore. So we've had a municipal capital construction boom in the last 4 years that has never been seen before in the city of Medicine Hat.
Wow.
So my detractors, though, are saying, he spent too much money. But now we're done. And so the next term the city will not be building any new fire halls or police stations like we have, and new leisure centers and event centers, and the municipality is going to get out of the way, and then hopefully business will come in and invest. And it's actually already started to happen. We've had about $200 million worth of commercial construction announced in the last 2 years. Our south side is booming now with a whole bunch of construction, as well as our north side. And so the private sector is now stepping in where the municipality is stepping away.
So it's all paying back.
Yes, and we're quite excited. We're predicted the Conference Board of Canada predicts Medicine Hat to be the fastest growing mid-sized city in the country in the next couple of years. Thank you. Yeah. And we do have the lowest unemployment rate in Alberta right now. So we're going to focus on getting out of the way and letting the private sector, but also what we call our natural gas and petroleum resources industry, because the city is the drilling for oil, believe it or not. Like no other municipality in Canada is drilling for oil. Or gas and electricity, and we're going to hopefully take our city from about 1,000 barrels of oil production per day to about 10,000. And then hopefully the price of oil stays relatively stable, and then that will build up. We have a heritage fund. So the city of Medicine Hat actually has a heritage trust fund, and we're allowed to invest in equities. No other municipality our size is allowed to do that. So we can buy stock in the stock market. Lethbridge, unfortunately,
Goes back to the city, right?
Yes, and then it stays in our heritage trust fund and hopefully makes a higher rate of return. Lethbridge can only buy GICs. They only can buy secured fixed income, whereas we're allowed to. And so we're going to build up the heritage trust fund, and the principal should never be touched, and then hopefully it'll start producing some income that will help offset our property taxes. In the past, our property taxes were subsidized by our business units, so we had the lowest property taxes in Canada because we were getting a dividend from our utilities. Unfortunately, our utilities stopped paying a dividend because of the low price of oil, gas, and electricity. So we made some course adjustments that we have to continue on in the next term.
That's very impressive.
Well, that's why the mayor's pretty much fit being like an economist as well. So I didn't even know that cities will be able to do that and invest and make some good decisions about how to manage money for different growth and stocks, right?
Yeah, so our stock portfolio is managed by AMCO, Alberta Management Company, the same company that manages pension funds and also the Alberta Heritage Trust Fund.
That's pretty amazing. On the lighter side, Mr. Mayor, how's the campaign going?
Yeah,
how is Mr. Mayor taking it?
Thank you. It's asking. I don't know what's going on in Lethbridge right now. I haven't been watching, but there are 19 people running for city council, and there are 4 running for mayor of Medicine Hat. We're just got our heads down, our nose to the grindstone. My team is just doing what we have to do. We are out knocking doors. We're out putting up signs. My signs all blew down yesterday, so we'll have to get them back up again. That's a frustration, but we're just doing the work, and our debates start, for me, it starts on Thursday night, and I'll be attending those, and the other candidates that run against me, I let them be. I don't talk about them. I just focus on what I want to do, and of course, being the incumbent, I'm the target. They come after me.
That's understandable.
But I ignore.
And the results will speak for itself.
They will. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty
one way or
much.
the other. Yes.
Yes, that's
The action speaks for itself, and the portfolio, it's all there. It's all laid out, and I believe Mr. Mayor Clugston is not yet finished on his current term. So that's pretty much the message we're sending out.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get across. That we still have some more work to do.
Yes.
And with that, I think we've asked all the questions, and the mayor answered very
So
good.
straightforward. That's it.
So what's your message to the voting public, especially not just the Asian community, but
Right.
most immigrants that are undecided and wanted to participate in this election?
Right, and I mean, we always talk about get out and vote. It's it's your right, and really it is your duty. However, I'm a firm believer that don't vote just to vote. I go to the forums or read up. The Messat News is going to do an election forum as to what all the candidates believe in. Educate yourself. So I'm a much bigger advocate of get out the educated vote. Don't just go by name recognition. Try to find out about the candidates and make an informed choice. But of course, it is your right, and you should exercise it. I often talk about entitlement a lot lately. Everybody talks about what are you going to do for me? What are you politicians, especially during election time?
Yes,
right. I get blackmailed, frankly.
Yeah,
Give me what I want, or I won't vote for you. And I try to rise above that. I say, what's best for the city of Medicine Hat as a whole, and try to vote what you think is best for the city as a whole. I mean, yes, you may have a personal issue, but what's best for everybody?
Yes, because by the end of the day, like the mayor was saying, it's all going to come back to you.
Yes.
If you contribute a lot to the city, and the city becomes better and and successful, then everybody in the city will be successful and a lot better as well.
It's a collective effort, not
Yes.
just individual. So
I thank you for that, because you think about all the it's mostly young men who went off to war and died on a battlefield somewhere. Well, that wasn't in their best interest,
Yes.
But it was in the best interest of the country.
Exactly, that's a
Very
very well
well.
said.
very heartfelt message. And what else can we say? And I
The weather's
believe
better here.
Yeah, it's
what's that?
I always gotta go after Lethbridge first
Yeah.
of all. Our Tigers are gonna take the Hurricanes this year.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened here in Game 7?
Right.
I think it was Game 7, Game 6.
That's right.
And it's sunny. We're Canada's sunniest.
Sunniest,
state.
yes,
And
that's
it's
it.
not as windy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I gotta
yes.
take up Phuket.
Yes.
And then we thought Lethbridge was
Right.
Lethbridge has a very nice weather. I've been to Edmonton,
yeah.
Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto, and Saskatchewan.
That's right.
If Lethbridge was really great, like the mayor was saying, Medicine Hat is the sunniest city in
right.
Canada. So
We should plan to invest now, Mayor. So.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
We have to check out the town, and yeah. So we won't be eating up more of your time, and
Thank you very
yes,
much,
the message
of
has
course,
been sent across. And of course, again, on behalf of our crew, we got Lou there, and my name is John. The Medicine Hat Good Mayor, Mr. Ted Clugston, invites you to get out there and exercise your right and vote.
informed vote.
Informed vote, as he mentioned, and of course, exercise your right. And on behalf of our show, and of course, the good mayor of Medicine
appreciate
Hat,
you
Mr.
coming.
Ted
Thank you.
Clugston.
Safe
Sir.
travels on the way
Yes,
back.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And we'll be seeing you all, and have yourself a good day,
Okay.
and safe travels.
You
Thank
can
you.
watch us on YouTube and Facebook, and also on our website, pinasia.ca.
It's all archived, and we're gonna send Good Mayor a copy as well, and check out our history, and it's all posted there. Thank you so much, and exercise your rights, Southern Alberta.
Have a great day and drive safely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Coming all the way here for that.